In your screen here, you'll see a few different pieces of information. The first is where we would look back to identifying relationship information so that when we lay out what we call block plans, we'll know where to set them within the confines of the floor plan now. We have the client matrix showing the strong and weak relationships. We then transfer it into a relationship now that's starting to represent proportion by the size that certain bubbles are larger than the other, and it gives some context to thinking what amount of floor area you will want to put into the floor plan, utilizing, in this case, an 1/8" scaled drawing. So I'm going to keep the image tight here on the screen, and what I'll also be doing then is bringing in that other diagram so that you can see exactly why I may be putting something near another as we do the block diagram. So the first thing that I'm going to do, you'll be doing this by hand, but the first thing that I'm going to go ahead and do is just tack these down for a moment so that it doesn't slide on me and I can make sure that you can see it on the screen. So I'm just going to take a moment to do that. And what we have again are 1/8" scale this time. And if we look at the 1/8" scale on the architectural scale, we'll see that we have 1/8", and we'll be counting 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So all these individual marks now are 1/8 of an inch, so that means that they are a foot. Anything to the right of 0 are your inches, and so you can see, we can clearly see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We've lost some of the individual ones because we've gotten so small, but we can take our closest guess to that when we're doing the measuring. Okay, so that's how we're going to read it on the 1/8" scale, and we can see that it's identified as 1/8" scale down here at the bottom. And according to our directions as to what it says that we should do is that we are to take blocks and we are to draw either squares, rectangles, whatever rectangular, not anything round. We're looking more for length and width, so it can go into a lot of different shapes. Two such examples would be squares and rectangles. We're going to be creating 2 sets of block diagrams. Now, in this particular example, we have 2 levels all in one sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and keep mine on the same sheet. I made it just a little bit bigger so that I can put whatever names and labeling information on it that I would need to according to my directions. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'll tack this down as well. I may end up taking it off to shift it, move it, but for right now, as I do this, I'm going to have it so that you can see it and it doesn't shift on us. And I'm also going to do this in pencil, and you could use a mechanical pencil here. I'm going to use a number 2 pencil so that you guys can be sure to see the boxes. But what it tells us in a block diagram is basically that you are indicating a placement and trying to give a general square foot area on the floor. And there's some other details that you can read per your assignment. But let's talk about the heart of getting to all the rooms that we identified in our matrix that we then transferred into our bubble. And now we're going to make sure that the relationships of where we place them are going to go within the confines of the floor plan. We have the north direction pointing up this way. And when we walk in this area here, we can see it's our only set of doors. Obviously, that's going to tell us that that's the foyer. And according to this amount of area, I'll eventually try to see that I can get these nice and big as well. But to get started with the foyer, I'm going to go ahead and draw in a box here. And let's see what that boxed area is. If I go to the 1/8" scale and I measure, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 feet. So this is a 9-foot box by 9 feet. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to label that You don't need to necessarily label the amount of area. I'm going to, just so that you can remember what it is. Now, if I erase it, I may have to go smaller and maybe I'll lose that. But for right now, while we're talking, let's go ahead and leave it at that size. So I come in with the foyer, and it indicates, based on what I have here, that the foyer has a lot of strong relationships with many things. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna look into this walk-in closet and see if I can't get that within here. And with it being a walk-in closet, you're usually gonna need at least a 6 by 6 foot area. Let's see what we have here if I lay out my scale. Yeah, I've got six here. So I think what I'll do is I'm gonna go ahead and I will have this as the foyer walk-in closet. All right, so we have that foyer walk-in closet, we have the foyer. So that would take care of this and this. And then I've got to think about, where could I put an office? Where could I put, I've got the living, the ADA bath, the guest bedroom. Let's go ahead and take a look at how we can maybe work in our bathroom. It does have a strong relationship here, and then it would lead on to the guest bedroom. We also have the 3/4 bath with the main bedroom to the foyer. So that's another way that we have to think about, how are we going to connect them all. It may be that I'm going to want to go narrower on the foyer and accommodate for some extra areas. So I think I'm going to actually try that. And you can see that labeling it really doesn't matter quite yet. So you have to push the rewind button, I guess, to see what the final decision is. So because the foyer has to branch out into so many areas, it appears that I'm going to need to leave it as a very column-like effect. And since there's a doorway there, let's go ahead and see. If I plan that out in eighths, that gives me about a 5.5 foot, well, actually the door is 5 feet. If I plan that out along those lines, it means that I've got the foyer, and I'll have it be kind of an unusual box here. I don't have to worry about walls or so at this moment, but we do need passages that go through because of the situation we're stuck with here. So I'm going to make this a relatively unusual shape to my foyer for my box, so that I'm still accommodating for this foyer walk-in. And in this case, now I've got quite a large area, so that would be 9 feet by 5 feet. I'm going to leave it that way for right now and see if we can't make that work. Now, if we move into the next thing that we have here, maybe we want to think about the ADA bath. We know that we were kind of targeting and hoping that we could get these bathrooms in here, but we know for sure that we have off the foyer. So let's try this one for the ADA bath. If I have the ADA bath, it appears that it would be 9 feet by 8.5. Now, earlier, in reviewing what ADA bathroom sizes should be, we talked about at least a 10 foot by 10 foot size on that, so that won't work. Let's see what else we can identify. We do need a 3/4 bath for the main bedroom. If I were to do the 3/4 bath, that would at least give me a 9 by 9 bathroom here, that then I would have to share the stairs to go up. But maybe that means that I could do the, what we were calling the 3/4 bath. If I identify the 3/4 bath and it has a strong relationship with the main bedroom, I could leave a door that doesn't necessarily access it, or I can try to have what this would have serviced. So let's try this. We have 3/4 bath, and then we have our upper loft area and our set of stairs that go up. So if I were to take a look at the upper loft area, that would give me a 25-foot by 12-foot area. That's pretty good for a bedroom. Let's see if we can make this our main bedroom. So if this is the main bedroom, what we would do is when you do your block diagram for upstairs, you're just going to allocate the area that we have. And before I draw in the perimeter walls, I'm going to wait just to make sure that I don't want to move that or change it to be something else. So right now, I could establish this, and the main bedroom isn't too far off of the foyer for the access. Oh, so actually that means that with the 3/4 bath, I actually, when I would do it, would actually do a door so I could get it through. But in the block diagram, I don't have to show that yet. So let's go ahead and leave that. At this point, I'm going to identify this as the 3/4 bath. And I'll even block it off this way because we're supposed to cover all the areas. So we have 3/4 bath. You can leave these when you do your blocks just as stairs. And I'm going to just label it up so that we know the difference between the two. So we've got 3/4 bath, we have the foyer, and now we need to move into some of our other areas. We have the walk-in closet taken care of. We have both of these rooms taken care of. And then let's take a look at what we can do for the office. I think what I'm going to do, because this has the foyer, I'm going to start to take a gamble here that I may not use this half bath. And so if you end up changing your bubble diagram, go ahead and show the new relationship of how it would be. But let's just see what we can do. For right now, I'm going to cross it off to remind myself that I'm not going to try to worry about having that. Now, we did have a relationship, though, where the office, we were hoping to have a bathroom with it or connected to it. Now I'm going to supplement this 3/4 bath, and in fact, what we could do is it would show a relationship more like this, where we're sharing the two, and I think I'm going to give that a shot. We would also then, start to choose to take it off of here as well, but we'll wait and see. So we have the 3/4 bath. That means that we need to have the office nearby. Relationship-wise, it doesn't appear that proportionally it needs to be a ton larger than the 3/4 bath. Definitely definitely larger than the foyer closet. Let's take a look when we measure it, what it would be. That's 12 feet by 9. So that's pretty decent for an office. Now, whether these lines are going to represent a wall or be open, we don't know, but let's just leave that amount of floor area. And what we do is when we come in here, it's got the corners are touching. So either we could extend it out, or we could at least have the corners touch so we know that it's in relatively close access to one another. And that would fulfill what you needed to about having a strong relationship in the bubble there. All right, now, so we identified that the office is to the foyer. We've got the walk-in. We've worked through our 3/4 bath, which will probably move down here. We have a main bedroom upstairs. We now need to have foyer access to the guest bedroom. Let's see what amount of wall space we have. In this, to the other side of this foyer, the walk-in closet, we're giving about 2.5 feet here. I'm thinking that if we did more like a 5-foot width to the foyer closet here, I'm thinking perhaps the foyer relationship to the guest bedroom, maybe it could be something like we have to share this wall that's here, but maybe we could have it so that there's some storage or hangers or so as you come in to walk through here. We have to keep the wall, but maybe we want to think about adding another doorway so that it's a little easier to get to it. But for right now, let's go ahead and let's block this off for the bedroom. And if I were to maintain the equal distance here to the office size-wise, it appears that we've got 12 feet by 9 feet. And you've got, that wouldn't, this would be like a closet area. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna incorporate, let's see, we could just show it as a line. Let's do it as this whole area here for the guest bedroom. Because in fact, that is the area we're using. We don't have to worry about walls. The only thing we're gonna do is the outside perimeter so that we can see where it is that we're confined by. So we have the guest bedroom, and then we're going to, we've still got the foyer that's coming through. So we have passage through here. And then for the ADA bath, we need to have another bathroom up this way. So let's see what we have for maybe at least a 10 by 10 area for the bathroom. So we're coming for 10 by 10 to give us a chance to have enough room for the ADA clearances that we need. So here's the ADA bath. We still have the foyer coming through so that they connect. That would be the ADA bath. Now we need to take care of the living, the kitchen, and the dining room are the ones that are left. So if we have the ADA bath, it does indicate here that it needs to have adjacency to the living room and the kitchen. The dining isn't necessarily so important to it. So let's imagine it, in this case, that the kitchen would be over this way. If we had the kitchen here, you can see the kitchen was a strong relationship to the foyer. Let's see how much I just crazily expanded it. 19 feet by 13. That's pretty big. So I think I'm gonna remove that so we have enough room for our living area, which would be the most important. Let's see if we can't go ahead and break that down a bit. So it would mean that I have a 19-foot area by 8 feet. And this could simply mean that we're going to have maybe a galley kitchen or an L-shaped kitchen that's open. The dining, then, we would put over here, or if we identify that the kitchen can turn and we continue to bring that foyer in here, we would then expand the kitchen over we have the kitchen, and now the kitchen is 12 by 12 and a half. And again, we could anchor it so that it's got some walls. If, let's say, there's a wall that we create with the office that you could connect cabinets. We don't know yet. We may just want to have it open so it gives it most expansive feeling possible. And then for the dining room, it wasn't necessary. So let's put the dining over here. And then as to the location for the foyer, we also had a strong relationship with here. So what we could do is, believe it or not, I'm gonna take and have this whole area be the living room. Now I have to think about some of the ways that we may in fact be able to fit furniture in there. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up just so you can see. You could write it sideways, you could do something like that. And now we have this living room area, and it fulfills all of that with the requirements of where things are located. So in fact, when we look at this, the decision is pretty much gone for the half bath, unless because the half bath was the idea that maybe the main bedroom, maybe at least to have a toilet and a sink in the upper level and not a shower. That might be a way that you want to rethink the relationship. So maybe we do something like this. And it may not have any walls. It may just have a toilet and a sink. So if we say half bath, we could keep it. We could go half bath to the main bedroom. make this a strong relationship between these. And then the 3/4 bath now has a strong relationship between the office, 3/4 with the office here, 3/4. And then this one, I need white out. This one is going to be the office with the, this now became a minus. All right, so office to the half bath is a negative because it's over here now. But I'm going to keep a strong relationship for the main bedroom, both for the 3/4 and the half. Let's see, let's get this in with the half bath. Oh no, I did that. That was right. The main, oh, that's why I did it. Okay, so the foyer was the negative. All right, so the main bedroom and half bath is a strong relationship, and the main bedroom and the 3/4 bath is also a strong relationship, and that's really echoed because of the function. So if we could provide like a small area in the upper level, maybe we want to place it over here because that's where you would walk down the stairs as this down. And maybe all it will be is just a toilet and a sink over in this area, but they don't have to go all the way downstairs to use it. So that would be about a 6 by 9 foot area. So let's try that. I'm going to try that as my half bath. I shouldn't say we. You're going to come up with what you want it to be. But that would be the idea. And then you can go in. You don't have to use a permanent ink, but I'm going to do it so that you can see. All right, let's see how it looks. All right, so you can see the outline of the building, and we'll go ahead and translate the information again. Got the levels, and then it indicates in the directions then that, what else would we need? Client name, project name, North symbol scale, designer name, and drawing type. All right, so we've got first, we have second, okay, so we've got the North symbol, and then what we can do is go ahead and you can outline it through here. And you'll just want to accommodate all the areas again. So when we get into the one area that's open, we'll just simply say open to below. All right, let's see. We're just going to do blocks here. So we'll go ahead and accommodate that this is just stairs. You don't have to draw it in for this one. All right, so we'll block those off as stairs so we know why there's nothing there. And then we'll come in with the windows here. All right, and we've got our window on the north wall that I did not put over here either. Right, so we have all of those there. And then it just asks that we do a some professionally generated lettering. So we'll do something real quick here. And you'll follow along with whatever it is that was requested of you for your information. Just make sure that this is lining up because we're not perfectly square. That'll work. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and set my guidelines in. Go ahead and use a mechanical pencil. My paper's down a little bit low. So I'm going to go ahead and just do something like this. Yeah, I'll do it this way. I can get it up a little bit tighter. Oh, we need 1 2/3. So go ahead and we're going to say, it's whoever your client name is. I will tilt that up. So what I did was I did the lettering guide and I did my guides along there. And now I'm just going to go ahead and letter my client's last name, whatever your client's name is, Smith, and we'll say it's the church. All right, so we've got the Smith Church conversion, and then we'll do it as, we're just going to do it as approximate because it's definitely not to scale. All right, so approximately 1 inch equals that for your scale. And then what else does it want us to put in there? This is, let's say, client name, project name, North symbol scale, which we have. The levels, the drawing type, which is a block diagram. And I just need to put my name in there, it looks like. Okay.